tenemos el honor de tener un invitado muy especial. Today we have the honor of having a very special guest. Nuestro invitado ha obtenido muchos logros desde muy joven. Our guest has accomplished much since very young. Cuando él estaba en la escuela secundaria como nosotros, él participó en el examen nacional de español y ganó varias medallas de oro. When he was in high school, just like us, he participated in the National Spanish exam and won several gold medals. Asimismo, como nosotros, él también fue miembro de la Sociedad Honoraria Hispánica. Just like us, he was also a member of the Spanish National Honor Society. Después de graduarse de la escuela secundaria, él siguió una carrera en la Universidad de Honores de Rutgers University in New Jersey. After his high school graduation, he pursued a career at the Honors College of Rutgers University in New Jersey. Se graduó con el título de Bachillerato en Ciencia de Meteorología en mayo de 2022 y con un promedio perfecto de 4.0. He graduated in May of 2022 with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Meteorology with a perfect 4.0 average. En su carrera profesional, nuestro invitado ha preparado y producido pronósticos de tiempo para el Today Show with Al Roker, también para MSNBC, NBC Nightly News. In his professional career, our guest has prepared and produced weather reports for the Today Show of Al Roker, also for MSNBC, NBC Nightly News. Nuestro invitado especial también es modelo y ha modelado en New York y Atlantic City. Our special guest is also a model and has modeled in New York and Atlantic City. Ustedes probablemente ya lo conocen porque lo han visto en televisión. You probably already know him because you have seen him on TV. Él trabaja como meteorólogo para WNP, el canal 16, y hasta da el pronóstico de tiempo en español todos los domingos para la audiencia español hablante. He works as a meteorologist for WNEP Channel 16, and he also even gives the weekly reports in Spanish every Sunday for the Hispanic viewers. Bienvenido, Jeremy Lewan, a nuestra noche especial, que es más especial con su presencia. Welcome, Jeremy Lewan, to our special night, which is more special with your presence.
Wow, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much for that introduction. Hola a todos, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, proud parents, and most importantly, los estudiantes brillantes del Wilkes-Barre Area High School. Congratulations today. Gathered in this room, filled with pride and accomplishment, we celebrate a remarkable achievement, a prestigious award. It is with immense joy that we honor the students of Wilkes-Barre who have been inducted into the National Hispanic Honor Society, la Sociedad Honoraria Hispánica. Being inducted into the Spanish National Honor Society is not just about academic success. It's about embracing and celebrating our heritage and diversity while striving for excellence in all aspects of life. It's about recognizing the unique contributions that each of you brings to this school, our community, and our society as a whole. To the students being inducted today, and those of you who received your pins and are going to receive your awards, I want to express my deepest admiration and congratulations. As you heard, I'm a member of the Spanish National Honor Society myself, and I know how much your dedication to your studies, your commitment to your community, and your passion for learning have brought to you this momentous occasion. Your hard work has not gone unnoticed, and today we honor your achievement. As we reflect on this achievement, let us also acknowledge the support system that has helped the students reach this milestone. I think the principal kind of took these words out of my mouth, but to the parents, the guardians, the teachers, and the mentors who have guided and supported these students along their journey, we extend our deepest gratitude. Your belief in their potential, your encouragement, and your unwavering support have played a pivotal role in their success. I'd like to share my own story about what has brought me to this very moment. My name is Jeremy Lewan, you heard, and I'm honored to be your guest speaker today. I work at WNEP TV at the ABC station here in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and I'm the evening broadcast meteorologist, and I've wanted to be a meteorologist ever since I was 5 years old. Mi cabeza siempre estaba en las nubes y en mis sueños. I said that my head has always been in the clouds and in my dreams. I would make my parents wait outside in the rain for hours while I stood wide-eyed, fascinated by a storm. Wearing my miniature rain boots and gripping my small umbrella, I loved experiencing the wind gusts and the pelting rain. For my 6th birthday, my mom bought me a children's weather station, and that same year, my kindergarten teacher allowed me to present daily weather forecasts in front of class. As I ascended through the grades of my hometown Woodrow Wilson Elementary School in New Jersey, I became something of a weather phenomenon and acquired a reputation as the school weatherman. Principal Costello would often ask me to announce forecasts over the loudspeaker after the national anthem if a storm was approaching, and the students would stop me often in the halls to ask me about the probability of a snow day being declared. In 2014, I began my freshman year at High Tech High School in North Bergen, New Jersey. At High Tech, it's a blue ribbon school. It's a magnet school or a vocational technical school, and they accepted only top students from across the county. What was special about High Tech was that as high schoolers, the same age as you all, we could choose our own major in high school. And I chose to major in environmental science because it was the closest option to meteorology. But also at High Tech, I began my journey of learning Spanish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I started in 2014 in high school, I knew how to count to 10 in Spanish. That was the extent of my Spanish knowledge. Mi mamá nació en Colón, Panamá, el mismo país de que su maestra, Señora Pegarella, nació. My mom was born in Colón, Panama. My grandmother was born in Colón, Panama too, and that's the same country that your teacher, Señora Pegarella, was born. Mi mamá y mi abuela, my mom and my grandmother, were brought to the United States to live with my grandfather, an American. There he is. My mom was 3 when she immigrated to this country. She was never taught how to speak Spanish by my grandmother because in that day and age it was seemed that you had to assimilate into the American culture and they wanted to strip you of your native tongue. So my grandmother wanted my mom to assimilate into the American culture and never learn Spanish. And I felt as though we were robbed of our mother tongue. Attending a blue ribbon school, a vocational technical high school, I had all kinds of linguistic options available to me. Alemán, Japonés, Francés, Italiano, German, Japanese, French, Italian, but there was no decision to make. Learning Spanish was my dream. I took Spanish very influential mentors in my life. You can see her there along with one of my very good friends from my Spanish class, Alyssa. My Spanish teacher is in the middle. Señora Sierra. She was the most kind and patient teacher. I would arrive to class 10 to 15 minutes early, and I'd stay later if I had a free period after class, and she never pushed me away. She went above and beyond, spending extra time with me because I showed a deep interest in her subject. She was a remarkable educator, but she transcended the role of mere instructor, becoming an influential mentor and a beacon of support during some of my toughest moments. Over just the first few months of my freshman year, she became quickly more than just a teacher. She became a friend. You see, her impact extended far beyond conjugating verbs and mastering vocabulary. She was there to offer guidance, lend an empathetic ear, and provide sage advice when life threw its curveballs. But what truly epitomizes her dedication to students and their well-being was a moment that might seem trivial to some. She patiently taught me how to put in my contacts. I got my first pair of glasses in freshman year of high school, but I hated the way I looked in them. I always wanted to wear contacts, and in my sophomore year I went for an eye exam to get fitted with the contacts by my local eye doctor. I was unable to put my contacts in myself, so the eye doctor popped them in my eyes for me. Just a few minutes later I nearly passed out. Touching my finger to my eye brought me immense waves of anxiety, and it took me and the eye doctor about 15 squeamish minutes to get them out. I took the pair of contacts home that day, but after I had that experience, I thought wearing contacts for me was impossible. Neither my mom or dad could help, since neither of them were contact wearers, and for the rest of my life I thought I'd have to wear glasses. I told Señora Sierra about my contact catastrophe at the next day in Spanish class, and she immediately said, without hesitation, "I've been wearing contacts my whole life, and I had the same problem when I first started. I'll teach you how to put them in and take them out." Every day for the next month, she waited to put in her contacts until I came in for Spanish 2, just before first period. She taught me the best spots to put my contact lens on my finger, and tips and tricks to get my eye to not recognize my oncoming finger. It is because of her that I am wearing contacts right now, And it's because of her that I wear contacts every single day on the news. I'm getting teary-eyed thinking of her because she's just such an amazing person. It's moments like these that underscore the profound influence that she's had on my life. Her unwavering commitment to nurturing not just our academic growth, but also our personal development. And it's a testament to the unparalleled dedication she had as an educator. That's the kind of teacher she was. Always going above and beyond to help us out, both in and out of the classroom. She wasn't just teaching Spanish, she was teaching life. Today I stand before you not just as a student who learns Spanish, but as someone who has profoundly been shaped by the wisdom, compassion, and mentorship of an extraordinary teacher, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way about your Spanish teachers as well. But she wasn't my only Spanish mentor at High Tech High School. In addition to spending extra time with Senora Sierra, I practiced every single day during my lunch period with my high school lunch lady, Sara, who was another one of my best friends throughout my high school years. I actually call her mi amiga whenever I saw her. Here she is. Ella es de Ecuador y no puede hablar nada inglés. She's Ecuadorian, and she can't speak a stitch of English. Many of my friends would poke fun at the fact that I'd spend my free time with her instead of with them during lunch. But Sarah was a steadfast rock of support in my tumultuous high school times. She was a caring and genuine reassuring face every morning and afternoon. Every day she would supply me with a hearty breakfast, and in the afternoon she'd supply me with a hearty lunch. Sometimes she'd serve me an extra portion without anybody ever knowing. Listening to my issues, providing me advice, and teaching me new Spanish words. Sarah's love and kindness kept me going some days, and I'm so grateful to have had her encouragement throughout all of high school. Practicing with her daily, combined with my studies in Spanish from my fantastic Spanish teacher, Miss Sierra, I graduated high school essentially bilingual. You can see my National Hispanic Honor Society cord in this photo. I was inducted in the National Spanish Honor Society. I won gold medals for my performance on the National Spanish exam, which you heard as well. And I was recognized as a National Hispanic Recognition Scholar, a distinction given to only 5,000 out of 250,000 students each year. This wouldn't have been possible without my perseverance, but more importantly, it wouldn't have happened without Senora Sierra and mi amiga Sarita. Once I graduated from high tech, my pursuit of learning Spanish took the back burner. I received a scholarship and chose to major in meteorology at Rutgers University, the only university in all of New Jersey that offers a meteorology degree, with the goal of becoming a broadcast meteorologist, and this is what I've wanted to do since I was 5 years old. I was accepted to the Honors College at Rutgers, which required additional classes to graduate, and I had no time to minor in Spanish, even though I really wanted to, unless I wanted to stay an extra semester, and that was not feasible financially or time-wise. I also discovered a love for the study of oceanography, but I couldn't minor in that either for the same reason. I searched for field experiences to become involved in oceanography, and I was accepted to a program called STEMCs, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, Student Experiences Aboard Ships, a 6 to 10 day exploratory experience on board the National Science Foundation's funded research vessels, intended specifically for undergraduates from diverse backgrounds. And I applied, hoping to be granted the opportunity to be acquainted with marine science in a way I was never truly allowed to. I got accepted to the program, and not only did I receive way more than I had ever imagined, but I had an experience I could have only dreamed of. We sailed on a research vessel from Seattle to San Diego, taking samples of the ocean and performing chemical tests. You can see me performing a chemical test there on the right-hand side. We studied marine organisms. We collected with a fine net for sampling and observation. And we also were able to do that right off the side of the boat with the net there. We saw countless whales and dolphins up and down the Pacific coast, spraying their tall clouds of mist on the horizon. Dolphins frequently jumped playfully along the side of the boat, and they even swam at the bow in bioluminescence one night under the Milky Way and the most stars I had ever seen in my life. It was breathtaking. I earned my sea legs, so to speak, which is a phrase that they use in the marine world when you're able to walk steadily despite the intense movement of the boat out at sea. And I didn't even get seasick, which I was really worried about. Instead, I got sea hungry, and I gained 15 pounds in 7 days because I couldn't stop eating all the delicious food on board the ship. With this lovely, diverse group of budding scientists from across the United States, many of whom I plan on having long-lasting friendships with. STEMCs opened up my eyes to the lack of diversity in the geosciences, the study of the ocean, oceanography, the study of rock, geology, and the study of air, meteorology. And I became a champion for diversity, especially within these geosciences, a realm which is notoriously known for being majority white. And you can see how diverse a group of students was selected for this expedition. It was actually the first time I ever felt I represented in my own field. As of 2020, 89% of all meteorologists were white. In the nearly 50 years since 1975, the percentage of Black or African American from 0.5% to just 2%. A similarly disappointing statistic is reflected among Hispanic and Latino meteorologists, from 0.4% to just 3%. In a country where over 13% of citizens are Black or African American and nearly 20 are Hispanic or Latino, this disparity is absolutely unacceptable. Specifically in broadcast meteorology, according to one study, 92% of chief meteorologists, normally the faces of the entire weather team in their locations, are white. An even less encouraging statistic. And this racial disparity is not unique to meteorology, it is pervasive across all of the geosciences. As a matter of fact, nearly 90% of doctoral degrees awarded to overarching geoscience realm are awarded to white people, with a large percentage of them being white males. In my graduation speech from the Honors College in May of 2022, I announced that it would be a mission of mine to help champion diversity, equity, and inclusion in the geosciences. And I'm so honored not to only have taken part in STEM-Cs, but also now serve as an ambassador for the STEM-Cs program at conferences around the country. You can see me here at the Society for the Advancement of Chicanos and Native Americans Conference. It's called the National Diversity in STEM Conference, and it aligns with my mission of diversifying the sciences. So I'm truly grateful to have had this amazing, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'll never forget it for as long as I will live. And of course, with all of my involvements in oceanography, I really never forgot about my original love in meteorology. In November, I accepted my first broadcast, November of 2022, I accepted my first ever official broadcast meteorology position at ABC, of course WNEP here in Scranton, as a fill-in weatherman. But at the beginning of this year, I was promoted to full-time, both weekday and weekend, primetime meteorologist. I love my job, I love my coworkers, and I love doing what I do, even if that means waking up at midnight like I did last night, being into the studio at 2 a.m., and being on air by 4:30 in the morning when I work the morning shift. But for years, I was given countless warnings from news directors and other meteorologists regarding the mechanics of the meteorology field. I proved every single one of them wrong, and I'd broken stereotype after stereotype. I've been told, you have to be a cookie-cutter meteorologist. There's no way you'll get on air with all that hair and that beard. You're too ethnic-looking. Well, not only was I hired without ever being asked to alter my appearance, but I've been welcomed by all of you with open arms. Many of you reached out to me how much you love my hair, so that's awesome. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only long-haired male meteorologist on air in the entire country. So WNEP is awesome for that. A meteorologist in the field told me, no one in the broadcast meteorology world cares about your 4.0 GPA. But meteorologists at my station cited that as a principal reason for why I was hired right out of college. News directors from across the country, I remember this one from Dallas, told me, you shouldn't take any time off after college. You should go straight into the broadcast meteorology industry. News directors are going to look at it as a red mark on your resume. They're going to consider it a waste of time. They're going to think it's a red flag, and they're not going to want to hire you. Well, after graduation, not only was I able to become involved in STEM-Cs and conduct oceanographic research on board a Navy vessel, I also pursued my passion for runway modeling, which you heard from your vice president here. Two experiences that have been extremely fulfilling for me. And thus, I was able to recharge and fortify my mental health before launching myself into the meteorology career, which is extremely draining. My news director embraced my multifacetedness and found my involvements far from a waste of time. Finally, I was told, you're going to have to spend a significant amount of money on a whole new wardrobe of suits, which is all you're going to be able to wear on air. But at WNEP, I'm not restricted to wearing only suits. Many of you know this. I'm actually allowed to wear whatever I want during my forecasts, enabling me to showcase my fashion while on air. So when someone tells you that you can't do something, it's a reflection of their limitations, not yours. Remember that. As I represent my different, thank you. As I represent my different ethnicities on screen, I actively dismantle stereotypes and serve as a role model for minorities who look like me, who are either, one, under the impression that meteorology is not meant for them, or two, too intimidated to become a meteorologist because of the daunting physics, calculus, and chemistry foundation required to achieve the goal. So I continue to aim to change the face of meteorology, change those statistics, and in doing so, promote inclusivity and diversity in my realm. And I'm so grateful to WNEP for embracing me wholeheartedly and empowering me to showcase my uniqueness. The station has enabled me to serve as a meteorologist role model, helping me to break long, outdated, preconceived notions of what professional can be. And as you know, I wanted to be a meteorologist since I was 5 years old, and I always knew this was my calling in life, but I never anticipated how alone I would sometimes feel in this field. As I pursued my degree in meteorology, I was often the only Latino, if not the only person of color, in my class. Unfortunately though, even as I entered my career phase, I had a continued feeling of being a singular Latino lighthouse in a sea of homogeneity. That auxiliary of mine in life developed into a full commitment to diversify this field. And I've become deeply devoted to increasing representation and inclusion in the meteorology realm in particular, and the journalism field in general, both of which are embarrassingly devoid of diversity. In March of 2023, I participated in my first ever Reading Across America, a celebration that many news people take part of to read to students, their parents, and staff at schools in commemoration of Dr. Seuss's birthday. My co-anchor, Chelsea Strube, and I, we read at Heights Terrace Elementary School in Hazleton, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from here. And we had a very special moment at Heights Terrace when I introduced myself in Spanish at the assembly to first graders and their parents. Dije, hola, me llamo Jeremy, y yo trabajo en las noticias. They were shocked while they ate their green eggs and ham. Some of them spit it out while they were eating their green eggs and ham. Many of them gasped and shouted in excitement, and it meant so much to me to make the kids feel like they were represented. With over 90% of the students at Heights Terrace of Hispanic descent, and some students and their parents fluent in Spanish exclusively, Chelsea and I felt that we truly served this community by reading to them. With over 50% of Hazleton, one of our largest cities within our viewing area, comprised of individuals of Hispanic descent, I realized that we were neglecting a significant portion of the community that we were so reputedly proud to serve. You know, we always say that before our newscast. Proud to serve Central and Northeastern Pennsylvania. But are we really proud to serve if we're not serving everybody? So I went back to the general manager at WNEP and I told her I wanted to start Spanish weather broadcasts. And she was all in. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. I began compiling my own glossary of Spanish weather terms, checking in with Senora Sierra and mi amiga along the way, and since June of 2023, I have been delivering a brand new weekly weather Spanish broadcast every Sunday night, accessible on WNEP.com. Just this past week, I found out that I was one of just 6 employees selected out of hundreds who work at over 60 stations across the country to receive a grant to attend the National Association for Hispanic Journalists, or la Asociación Nacional de Periodistas Hispanos Conference and Expo, which is set to be held this July in Los Angeles. By attending this conference, I can meet and learn from fellow Latino journalists who have probably had similar experiences as I have, and learn how to make more effective Spanish content, forecasts, web articles, and news stories specifically tailored to include and highlight nuestra comunidad hispanohablante, our Spanish-speaking communities. It is now 10 years since my first Spanish class with Senora Sierra, and if it weren't for my mentors along the way, there's no way I'd be able to deliver a Spanish weather forecast for WNEP every Sunday, and there's no way I would even have the confidence to apply or attend for that upcoming National Hispanic Conference for Journalism. To this day, I visit mi amiga. Oh, and I wanted to show you this graphic that I made. I put together this for Mother's Day just last week, I believe. And I made sure that I changed this graphic about the Northern Lights. I'm sure you saw it all over social media, but I wanted to make sure Spanish-speaking people were able to access this sort of content as well and explain what a geomagnetic storm is in Spanish. But what I did want to say is, to this day, I visit mi amiga Sara in my high school back in New Jersey, even coordinating with the principal and bringing cakes all the way from Scranton to New Jersey to surprise her on her birthday. And I have this photo of us framed on the top of my desk at WNEP to remind me of her daily. I have lunch at least once a year with Senora Sierra at our favorite Cuban restaurant. Needless to say, learning Spanish is a worthwhile endeavor. Spanish is the world's second most common mother tongue, with 500 million speakers. This now represents over 6% of the world's population, research indicates. In 19 of the 27 European Union member states, Spanish is the language that European Union citizens would most likely learn as a second language. The number of Spanish speakers are expected to continue to grow over the next 5 decades. Some projections calculate that by 2060, the United States will be the second largest Spanish-speaking country in the world, second only to Mexico. Learning Spanish can significantly enhance your ability to communicate with people from diverse backgrounds. In many fields, bilingualism is an asset. Knowing Spanish can open up job opportunities in industries like tourism and hospitality, international business, healthcare, education, translation, interpretation, and even media, as you can see with me. Many employers value employees who can speak Spanish fluently, especially if they operate in regions where Spanish is widely spoken. Learning Spanish provides insight into the rich cultural heritage of Spanish-speaking countries, including their literature, art, music, and traditions. It allows you to engage more deeply with Spanish-speaking communities and appreciate their customs and way of life. Knowing Spanish greatly influences and enhances your travel experiences, which I've known firsthand. It will facilitate interactions with locals and help you navigate through different regions and help you immerse yourself more fully in culture and daily life of the places you visit. And for me, being able to communicate with Spanish-speaking communities to keep them safe and informed has been my biggest advantage. Learning Spanish has practical, professional, and personal benefits, making it valuable in today's interconnected world. Today, as we celebrate the induction of these exceptional students into the Spanish National Honor Society, let us also reaffirm our commitment to fostering a culture of inclusivity, diversity, and excellence within this school and beyond. Let us continue to uplift and empower each other, recognizing that our differences are really our greatest strength. To the students being honored today, remember that this is just the beginning of your journey. You can see with me, I started by knowing the number 1 to 10 in Spanish, and look at what I've been able to do. Continue to strive for greatness, continue to pursue your dreams with passion and determination, and continue to be proud of who you are and where you come from. Congratulations once again to the students of Wilkes-Barre Area High School on this remarkable achievement. You have made us all incredibly proud. I'm really, truly proud of you all. And we can't wait to see the incredible things that you accomplish in the future. Muchas gracias y felicidades de nuevo. Thank you again, and congratulations again.